Alright, ladies and gents, we are replacing the windshield wiper motor on an '05 Honda Accord. It's almost dark out, so we're going to try and get this done quickly. I already pulled the one off, and then I was like, you know what, I should probably make a video on this. So you got these little rubber boots here that go over top. They come right off. You can just kind of wiggle them right off, or get a screwdriver, flathead, pop them right off. And then you got your 11/16 or 17 mil, 18 mil, whatever the equivalence is, on each one, 2. So literally 2 bolts. Pop them off. Get yourself a screwdriver. You can get yourself right under the first one and kind of pry it up a little bit, kind of shimmy and wiggle. And then this one's a little bit harder because you got the hood here, it's in the way, right? And you really don't have much room over here. So what I would do is pop this hood back down. Hold on. And if you look, you can kind of see, you can get something right underneath, in between that. Just want to be careful of the glass here, right? You probably could have seen it without taking the hood down, but so if you get under that, you can see you can kind of get something under that. Come back over here. You could probably do this beforehand too. I'm gonna give it a little spritz. Some penetrating oil, let that soak in for a second. Hold on, kids are coming out. Alright, so spritz that, let that sit for a minute, right? You can maybe twist sideways a little bit, see if it comes up. You really want to get on the inside more, on the inner portion of it more. Try and get the tip under that and maybe pry up a little bit, right? And if that don't work, you're gonna take yourself a little mallet. If you don't have the tool, that is, just, it's got like a fork, which I cannot find right now, so we're just doing it the old-fashioned way. So I am going to maybe sit that right there, and as I pry up, I'm gonna kind of gonna just tap on it a little bit. Boom. Pop right up. Just like that there. So, piece of cake. Just kind of, like I said, you want to get under it and kind of on this side and twist up, or this way, I'm sorry, twist up, and then tap it. You could do it with a regular hammer too, but a small mallet, something like that. Probably do it with a ratchet if you needed to. But just get a little pressure on the back end, and then tap, pop it up, pull that off. And now we're going to take off the cowl right here and expose the motor and the control system. So bear with me. You got little clips. You got one there. You got another one here. That's why the clip fork would be good for this. Oh, and you don't do that. So we got one under the car now, another one, and so on and so forth. So we're going to take these off real quick. And the last one is obviously on the passenger side. We're going to get these hoses, pop these down, get all the stuff disconnected. There's no issue. Oh, and this kind of just slides right into place. The only thing is with this model, We got the hoses here, so no. I believe there should be enough extra hose, but these just clip on here. These little prongs. Just put everything. This one here. Little rubber clips here. So you just pop in as well. Hold it in place. We're gonna have to drop the hood for that. Or maybe not. I could probably get it from here. Try not to tear it. Yeah, no, let me just drop this. My knuckles ain't hitting the hinges. Pop this here. Yeah, because it gets caught in the hood. So, hold on. Again, you didn't need to put the hood down for that either, because they slide in to the front piece, so you can separate them. So really, you might not even need to take the back ones off, but whatever. We'll clean them up. No big deal. Let me show you. They were definitely much easier to pull off like this. So, and then, oh yeah, all right. So yeah, that one is. Yeah, it was easier to do it like that. So yeah, drop the hood. Anywho. Alright. And this here. Pull the front pieces off. Okay. Oh, I'm missing a clip somewhere. Hold on. What am I missing? What am I missing? These guys here. Here's one. Right here. And here. Let's pull this seal off. We'll clean that shit out too. It's dirty. What am I looking at? Okay. There we go. So you got your two clips in the middle. It latches on to here, I'm assuming. Yeah. It latches onto the metal. So you basically just pull them and pop up. Alright. Alright, let's get this off. Careful not to yank too hard, because you do have your windshield washer hoses still connected. You don't want to break it off on the plastic. Even though it's in there pretty good. Still. We got our motor right here. And this is our assembly here. If you're not replacing the assembly, the whole assembly, for instance, let's just say one of your windshield wipers doesn't work, then you're not going to need to take the whole thing apart. You just have to pull off the motor, hopefully, and call it a day. Put the new one on. So let me get my clip, or my wire thing. I would like to clean all that out, really, but it's getting kind of dark. Still a little bit light out. Still got a little light, so we're going. All right, bear with me. Let me go get my wire things, because that's too tight for my fingers. All right, so I picked up these guys right here from the TikTok shop. Let's see if they actually work good or not. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get them in there from here, so we'll see. Maybe just a screwdriver. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be more of a hassle than it's worth. because of the angle. Oh, is that a broken wire? No, I don't know. Can't really see it from here, so it's hard to judge where it's at, really. Oh, hold on. Okay. That's right on the tip. I was grabbing up here. So if you could just get your finger in there, you're good to go. Alright, so let's see, we are this is gonna be one of those where you have to take the fucking assembly out. You got your bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, that's what it's gonna be. 'Cause I don't. You know what? They're right here and right under here, so of course you can't get to it. Stupid ass shit. So, hold on 1 second. Alright, well, I got a little dark out, so I just set up some lights and had to find my super long extension because for some reason my kid touches all my tools and I cannot find my normal size extension. So, it is what it is. But, so, removed one, loosened already, loosened. We got 3 more to take out real quick. And I'm just gonna, they're pretty loose, so when you tighten them back up, do not crank them on there. No need. I got rubber grommets to kind of grab them and hold them in place. So it's a little overhand tighten, and, snug tight. They're good to go. Got the phone on the charger because it likes to die extremely fast for some reason all of a sudden when I'm using the recorder. Oh, we got people calling. I can't even. All right. Alright, so when we take this out, you do not want to move the assembly. You want it to stay where it is because that's stationary, and that's how it's going to go back in when you put the things in. Here comes the 2 little kids now, coming on their way home. Why is this stuck in there? Whatever. Bear with me 1 second. What's up, Munchkins?
We have to leave.
Okay. Is Poppy coming to get you?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so pull it out and you flip it over. You just kind of wiggle it out. And you got your 3 bolts here. Right? So start with this guy here. Very easy to take off. It's no big deal. Gage, what you doing, bud?
little.
Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to kind of just put pressure on this and move it slightly out the way.
Me?
With your thumb. No, not you, buddy. And then when you're done, you're going to put it right back to where it was. Let me just... Alright. I believe the last bolt here is going to be this guy. So, it's probably the 17 or 11/16. And we're going to have to move this out the way a little bit. Let me clean it off real quick. Alright, a little bit of contact cleaner after you get that off. And then what I'll do is just put this right back to where you had it. You know what I'm saying? And just a spritz of that. And our mallet. So again, I'm probably just going to apply a little bit of pressure on it in between it with the screwdriver and tap it, and it should pop right out. Alright, so I didn't even need to do that. I tried to pry it a little bit like this, but really I was able to just get this, I use this chisel here in between this guy and the plate, and then smack the chisel on the end, and it popped free. Pretty easy. So okay. And there's our culprit. Let's hope. Let's hope. I already replaced. Well, you know what? I've never replaced one of these before. I've done just about everything else you could think of. Never ever had to replace one of these guys on any vehicle. Usually the switch goes bad, or fuse pops, relay. But first time replacing one of these. It's simple. It's been about maybe 20 minutes total time that I've spent on this. So yeah, alright, let's get the new one in. Alright, come over here and make sure that all the bolts line up. They are pretty much identical, apart from a couple things. It doesn't have those there, but everything else is pretty much identical. So let's get this bad boy on. Alright, again, we're just going to snug these on, not tight. Just once they get tight, you just give them a little good to go. Once they get tight, just a little good to go. Alright, in hindsight, I would just take this bolt off before. That way you can pry this off without this flopping around a little bit. Not really much, but either ways, you probably have an easier time getting this off. Not that it was hard, but with these bolts still intact. That way, when you pop this off, you can then access all these without moving this at all. So, woo! Hindsight, that's what I would do. Alright, so it's going to be straight. Okay, so your arrows here is going to line up with your markings there, just to make sure it's straight. Don't know. Okay, and get this in here. All right. So you probably just want to use a wrench to get that off first, instead of using the socket. But, yeah, it's up to you. Alright, so, again, when you're done with that, make sure you have everything lined up. The new bolt on this was a 14 mil, not a 11/16 or 17 mil. So we did that. Alright, just gonna make sure everything's tight and in the spot where it's supposed to be. Alright, so once your markings are all lined up, alright, everything's tight. We're gonna flip this bitty back over. And slide it back into place like so. What I'm gonna do is just power wash this shit when I get my power washer back. Make sure you plug her back in. That one bolt, I'm going to thread that one in now. The rest of them in place. So literally, it's got the rubber grommet, so you don't have to crank it. Once you get it tight, right, you give it another little crank. Good. Same with this and the other three. Yeah, before you bolt this on, you should probably spray the contact points or the rotating joints on this thing with some, you know, put some grease on it or some good PB blaster or something. Just on like the rotating areas, you know, while it's flipped over still. Grease it up, some grease or something. Since I already put it on, I just hit it with some PB blaster. And okay, so we're ready to put the cowl back on, and then the wipers. You know, spray this or grease these up a little bit too, just so the splines make it nice and easy to go on. If you got a couple broken clips like I do, maybe go ahead and replace those now while you're at it. So I imagine that does nothing. So, okay, so that actually separates this little guy right here. Probably so you can just replace the lines, maybe get to the lines. And oh, these are built in, it looks like, these windshield washer. Yeah, maybe it's just to replace the lines if you have to. That way you don't have to take this whole thing apart, but I probably would anyways. Alright, let's get this one. I'm just gonna line it up. You got your holes that it lines up with. Kind of just want to sit them in there and kind of push upwards so that the clips snap in. Right, kind of line this up first and then pull it towards you a little bit and then push back up and kind of wiggle them into place so they snap in. Then you want to snap this one down on top of this, and then just, you know, once they snap in, you're good to go. On the other side, you're going to go over and do the same thing. Alright, they're popped in place now. Let's see, got 1, 2, 3, and then that one elusive one that fell down underneath the car. And we're gonna make sure these are sitting correctly. The last two on this side are broken. I found one that I was able to kind of slide into place. What's going on here? And you just snap it shut. What you want to do is try and tuck this, get this one in there. When you sit this cowl in there, you want to sit that in first and then slide it in place. Alright. Again, this is the one that we dropped. Let me get that down. Just give me a second. Get this one in place. There we go. I'm going to have to snap that one shut with like a pair of pliers. And the other side, well, I'm going to have to get the other one when I move the car. And put it on that last corner. Alright, let's do the windshield wipers now. Hindsight, I would also put these rubber pieces on the cowl before you put the cowl on. That way you can pull the little rubber pieces through it easy. I mean, you could push down on them and, you know, and kind of like mush the best you can in like a circular rotation, you know, to get them back in place. But it might just be easier to put them on first. So I would try that. You know, make sure you hook this under here. And this goes under here, and then that one goes into this one. Alright. And then the same thing on that side. But, alright, anyways. I'm going to do the wiper blades now. This is our driver's side. I'm just going to sit them there. We're going to put them right into resting position. Alright, so these flex here, remember that. These things here in the middle flex so that you can get them back into the location that they need to be. Right? And then you can force it down here with the flex. Alright, same thing, like this one's sitting a little high. So we're gonna push down and lift up and kind of bring it down to where it needs to be. And then push down and sit it into the splines, right? And make sure we're in place, which I think we are. We're charged 100% now. I could take it off. So, right, you just want to make sure they're in place in the right spot before you go ahead and bolt these down. That way they're not overshooting the windshield and going down too far, and they're not coming up too far, because you will break something eventually. You don't want your shit slapping. So we're good here on that one. We're going to take our bolt. I'm going to thread it on there. Very fine thread, so make sure it goes on first, or the right way. If you have to, you back the bolt, back the nut back until you hear that, and then you screw it on. That way you know it's sat in a thread the right way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and snug these down real quick. 11/16, just fine. One hand shit doesn't aggravate me. You know what? Let me get the extension back out. Alright. Again, not too tight with these. So we're just going to tighten them down. And then once they're tight, little snug, that's it. These do not need to be tight, or else you will, essentially you'll break it. Same thing. So you have to get them on there so that they sit down on the splines, but you do not want to crank them on. So just boom, done. Once they're snug, they're on. Okay. You want them to have a little bit of room to move. Because if you squeeze them too tight, I assume that it's going to ruin the bearings that help them rotate. So, alright, now our rubber pieces, last but not least, put our seals back on. Bada bang, bada boom. And we snapped that into place already, so we just need to get the one underneath and we're good to go. Alright, moment of truth. This has been the electrical nightmare vehicle. The windows, the shifter, the windshield wipers, everything wants to go bad with this. The dog breaking shit. But if your windows stop working, you can make a little splice here. And just jump them together. The black and the green and white wire there.
Hasn't died yet on the other one.
Moment of truth. There we go. Alright, so yeah, see that one? It's a little crooked over there, so we're gonna unbolt that and try and correct it. See, so they didn't sit exactly down in place once I turned them on, but they were not too far off. So what we'll do is we will unbolt and then just move it down a spline. You can kind of wiggle these right off with your fingers, no problem. They're on there pretty good though, so. Alright, so you take the bolt off and then you kind of just wiggle, push down, and kind of get your fingers underneath if you can. and kind of just pry forward with your thumb and up with your fingers. Alright, so we're just going to move this down from where it's at. We're going to move it, rotate it down. I think that was like 3 splines there. And then we're going to push it back down and sit it in place. Back up. Sat it in. Alright. One snug. Good to go. Just push back in place here. Alright. Too far. Right? Well, it sits in the right spot, but it goes down too far. Alright, so we're going to bring it up. It rests in the right spot, but it goes down too far. So yeah, instead of the 3, just go down 2. 2 notches, not 3 notches. It still looks like it's fucking... I guess we can move down a little bit. Alright, so we're going to take it up a notch. Yeah, I would just leave it. Leave it where I said to leave it in the start. You know what it is? You probably got stuck because it's a dry ass window. So don't even fuck with it. Once you have it in place, leave it. Because I moved them both down and then they started slapping. So just leave it where it was, where you have it set, where it's supposed to be. It should be good like that. Anyways, that was real time. I don't know. Said it was like an 1.5 hour job to do, so on the video here we're 38 minutes in. I probably could have got it done in 30 minutes, you know, including all the time that I spent with the camera not on and like bolting shit, I guess. So maybe like 30 minutes to get this done. So please like, subscribe. Really goes a long way, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.